What's up, everybody, and welcome to Inside the Game, your one source for everything cool in video games. Now, you can be a part of our show. All you have to do is go to insidethegame.ca or hit us up in Discord, where there you can submit your clip and end off our show. What's coming up on today's episode? Here it is. It's the rundown.
This one is a first-person shooter with a lot of kind of horror aesthetic elements in it.
This is the League of Legends spin on the mobile device platforms, and I think we're kind of two different ways of thinking on this game.
Well, man, initial thoughts, kind of like you said, man, bare bones. I mean, you got 4 characters, 5 maps. That isn't bare bones, in my opinion.
Console and controller in a white colour. Well, some PlayStation fans were not happy about this, as they wanted the traditional black console and the black controller.
Well, that looks like a fantastic show, so let's get started. Here's Steve and Scott to kick things off.
Hi, Steve. We're back and we're reviewing an interesting title here. This is GTFO by 10 Chamber Games. And let's take a little look into it. Well, Steve, this week we had a very interesting shooter. This one is a first-person shooter with a lot of kind of horror aesthetic elements in it, and it is a team-based game. You're meant to play this one with 4 people. We didn't exactly get 4, but between me and you, what was your first impression on this one?
Well, as you said, as soon as I started the game, the lobby was dead. It was very dry. I had no one that was joining. I was actually waiting for quite a while, and then in the end, I actually dropped in the game by myself. And as you drop in, you actually go down a tunnel. It's almost like a roller coaster. You have one of these harness things on and you just drop straight down, and your mechanical moves you around and actually drops you in these containers, because you're kind of underground and it's a containment. You have to complete containments and find out why you're there. You're held there at your own will, and there is a so-called warden that kind of gives you little bits of information and little tidbits, kind of to sort of help you on your way and what's there. But to be honest with you, playing this by yourself is a no-go, because it is absolutely brutal. It's horrendous, because as soon as you get into an area where there's swarms of these, they call it sleepers.
Yeah.
They have sleepers, and any movement or lights, you're done, because they all come rushing out this door, and I died so many times. So what was your experience as a one-person player to starting off the game?
Yeah, well, it is an interesting introduction. There's some interesting kind of artistic choices with the menus as you're loading in, and kind of the images it shows you. There's a lot of mystery to who you are and why you're there, but you do have one directive, and that is to kill and kind of mop up these containment units. But you're right, those sleepers, one of them catches you and they just sound the alarm, and an alarming amount of enemies come forth. It's something that is somewhat familiar to me in other games that are kind of situated like this. One that comes to mind that's definitely going to draw comparisons is the Left 4 Dead series. There's 4 protagonists. They kind of have their one-liners, their little quips. The weapon kind of changing, the melee option. A lot of this kind of has been done in Left 4 Dead. And the hordes of zombies that just pour on you are definitely a lot harder to mitigate in this game, for sure. You get a little bit of a turret that you're able to set up, and that's kind of a wingman. But when you're solo, it was just a dismal attempt to break these combat segments.
Yeah, and I have to say, when you're sort of playing by yourself, it's basically it's too difficult and too hard. You expect to die in these kind of games, and bearing in mind it's one of these ones that is, once your health is gone, you have to start all over again. It's no checkpoints. There is nothing. It's either you get to the end of that chapter or that completion of that area before you progress. So unfortunately, as the one-person player, it did put me off. But then, by chance, I actually got into a lobby with 3 other randoms, and I think I played for a lot longer this time. And what a different experience it brought to the whole game. Even when it was just you and I, when we jumped in, what a big difference it does.
Yeah.
Because the other good thing as well is because you have different loadouts. You have like 4 slots for different loadouts. 2 for weapons. You have a melee attack, which again you have 4 different options. Whether it's like a sledgehammer or an axe or something like that. And then you also got your different other weapons as well, like fog diffusers. With all these accessories, does make it a very interesting game when you have your co-op friends in there, because the key point in this game is communication. You have to have that communication, otherwise you're dead. Basically.
Yeah, once things are set off, it's really hard to kind of pull that in and keep it locked down. When different attacks are coming from different sides, that's where it really fell apart for me as a solo. And even the 2 of us, we can set turrets up and we can prepare for the main attack, but and eventually they're just coming from every direction, and it gets quite a lot harder. It really makes me wonder what kind of things are waiting for you deeper into the game when you get down to the end game kind of levels, and it either is just armies and waves of enemies, or perhaps something a little scarier. But in any case, you definitely feel underhanded in combat in this game.
And the other thing as well is you don't really get a lot of ammo in this game or health. You have to search. You have to search the areas, open lockers or break locks of containers, and you open up. But bearing in mind, you also got to share this with 3 other teammates if their health is low or their ammo is low, and it's hard. It's very scarce what equipment and resources you can actually find in this game. But I have to say though, I did love the atmosphere of the game as well. Like all the tunnels, the water dripping and things like, and all the noises as well. The little creaks and noises in the headset. About that.
Yes, it's definitely really heavily motivated. There's a dark kind of look to everything, and being that you're underground, I suppose that makes sense. But there's just some pockets of areas that have a lot of gore and kind of spikier areas that are, there's some sort of infection kind of wiping across the landscape. That is definitely what kind of sets this game apart, especially from something like Left 4 Dead, as I mentioned earlier, where it's just a normal kind of cityscape. This is quite different. This is very long tunnels, a lot of exploring, and eventually you come into contact with a lot of these kind of sleeper horde enemies, and that's where the difficulty lies. Eventually you may explore around and find different tunnels to get to a location, but you're gonna find some massive combat area, and at that time it's really kind of clear to me that this is intended for 4 players. As you said, there's a lot of equipment slots, a lot of kind of extra weapons, mines. So I think you're supposed to kind of band together and produce some strategies, have some plays to kind of rely on.
At the end of the day, Scott, are we gonna give this a score?
Yeah, I think this is fair. We've spent some time checking this one out. We've had our issues, but we've also had our breakthroughs. So there is a lot to consider about this game. It's a little complicated to, put a fine ribbon on it. But to briefly explain, it seems like there's a lot of potential here. If you have a 4-man squad, there's a lot of fun to be had. And there's some interesting elements from other genres kind of stapled into this package that make it very interesting. it just kind of comes short with a little bit of some glitchiness and a little difficulty finding other players if you're solo. But
Yeah.
all of that considered, I have to give this one a 6 out of 10.
Nice. I'm kind of with you like that. By yourself, no go. If you got a squad, or you can actually get some randoms in the lobby, awesome. As long as they got mics as well, because if they haven't got mics, then you're in trouble, because it is very heavily based on communication. Like you, I had a few glitches at the start of the game. It was very janky and things like that. But when I did get into the game, I did enjoy it. So I'm going to give this a 7. There are serious matchmaking issues for a team-focused game. However, the frantic combat and the dark environments are great to experience.
Med pack over here.
Corey, let's check out League of Legends on the go. We're going mobile. Corey, we jumped into Wild Rift. This is the League of Legends spin on the mobile device platforms, and I think we're kind of at two different ways of thinking on this game. Why don't you hit us up as a League of Legends experienced MOBA player?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means, but
No.
I certainly do enjoy the League of Legends series. I have played it on PC. Actually, I played it quite a bit, but I never really jumped into the mobile until, you know, a little bit later, and we've kind of got into it now. And honestly, I am enjoying myself. I mean, as a fan of the series, it feels very familiar. You know, you get a lot of the same characters. They have changed things up slightly to kind of tailor to the mobile platform,
Sure.
but overall, the experience is very similar. You kind of just get those feels, right? And it's nice because it's on your phone. It's very accessible. It feels polished, and I thought, honestly, it just looked really good. But I know on the flip side of things, as a newcomer to the series, you didn't really take to it like I did.
No, not at all. But you're correct, Corey, in the fact that, you know what, it is very polished. It does feel good. But if you're not already invested in the world of League of Legends, that's my downfall, dude. To be honest, I don't have a clue what's going on. There is very little in the world of like tutorials. They have a tutorial there, but they don't give you the overall arcing story of what's going on for the characters, who they are, what lane they belong in, what their abilities are, right? You're just kind of tossed in. And for me, as someone who doesn't play League of Legends, dude, I came from Paragon. I'm a third-person MOBA player, right? So this is completely on a different spectrum. I know how big League of Legends is. It is massive, but it's never really hooked me. And I thought this might be the opportunity for me to get in and get invested. And I'm still feeling like I'm on the outside trying to get in, and I can't do it. It didn't click. Dude, it honestly just does not click for me. And it's so disappointing.
I will show you the path.
Corey, my overall experience, dude, just was a little overwhelming when it comes to the world of League of Legends. I still don't have a clue on who any of these characters are, what their abilities are. And for me, it's hard to recommend, because if you're not a fan of already the League of Legends franchise and what's happening there, you're still going to be lost going into the mobile version. Can't recommend it, man.
You know what? I can feel for you, man. This game is very involved. There's lots to pick up on, and if you're not familiar with it already, it's going to take a lot of playtime just to figure the game out before you really start to experience, you know, the way it's supposed to be played. But honestly, as a fan of the series, this game is exactly what you want in a mobile version, and they've done it so well. So if you're a fan of League of Legends, you got to check out Wild Rift.
Guys, one of the biggest news segments coming around lately these days, and is a hot topic with Epic versus Apple. What's happened here is basically Fortnite came on in the Apple Store, and Epic decided to bypass Apple rules and cut them out of their 30% and kind of offer a deal on the store that would go directly to Epic, bypassing all the rules set in place by Apple. Apple doesn't like that, and then from there cut them off the store. Well, Epic didn't like that, so now they're suing them. And now, because of this whole lawsuit, we're actually finding out details from the industry on how some of the inner side of things are working. And dude, it's airing out everybody's laundry. Like, let's touch on a few things quickly, right? So they put on Lori Wright from Xbox and kind of asked her a couple questions, and she said right out front that they have never made a profit on a console sold. Not one. Dude, I kind of find that a little hard to believe, and apparently so does Apple, because they want more information and more proof behind that. At the end of your life cycle, you should be generating a couple dollars, I would think, off of your console. So you gotta be making a profit. Now, when you launch a console, you don't make anything, you make it on software, right? And that's always the deal. That's how new consoles work. And then you get inside of PlayStation, well, then you find out that Epic offered them $200 million to bring over 4 to 6 games so that they could compete with Steam. And then from there, like, it just keeps going, guys. Like, Nate, what's your take on this? Like, honestly, at the end, none of us are gonna win from this, but it is interesting to see all these little news pieces come out of nowhere.
Oh man, that's just it. There's so many things to kind of cover, I guess. Yeah. So we'll kind of talk about Epic's maybe dirty laundry a little bit.
Sure.
So there was actually kind of one thing is exclusives. So they are paying an insane amount of money. First of all, I don't know how many hundred millions or something. It was like a couple $100 million just for Borderlands 3. But in turn to that, they were also showing kind of their numbers, and they make most money off of exclusives. So they said moving forward, that's their thing. Like, they're going to push for exclusives. So that's kind of interesting. But one thing that I found was is, you know how they get free games every week, right?
Yeah.
You get like 1 to 2 games, I think, every week on the Epic Game Store for free, for a free subscription. Like, this is insane to me, first of all. But what also is insane is that they also kind of had some documents coming out saying that some of these game developers, man, they're making like 30 cents a copy.
Ouch.
Or, sorry, let me rephrase that. Epic Games, it's costing them roughly 30 to 50 cents for each download of these games. So kind of makes me wonder if developers are going to be maybe a little more hesitant to put their games on there, or just how that whole package works.
Well, I think the one thing we can't deny here is that this has been going on for a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about this originally, I feel like a couple years ago now. But the thing is that Epic has so much money. Like you said, Nate, they're spending just hundreds of millions of dollars just to get these, you know, certain titles. It's not like they're collecting playlists of games. They're looking for, you know, certain titles of games, AAA titles, and they're going to bring them over to their service, because that's what they're trying to do, is grow this service. And they have the financial means to do this. I mean, this is Fortnite money. We know that's what this is, right? I mean, Fortnite has blown up. They've made hundreds and millions and probably billions of dollars at this point from Fortnite, and it's allowing them to kind of jab at Apple. I mean, Apple's a huge company.
They're a bigger company.
Exactly, right? It's true, right? But Epic Games thinks they have this, you know, kind of foot in this race. And they're not backing down, and honestly, I don't see it slowing down. I mean, they're kind of letting it all out there right now. This is kind of the messy portion of all this. I mean, there still has to be some sort of solution at the end of all this, you know, some sort of summation of everything. So it'll be really interesting to see going forward how much harder they kind of push at Apple. And I mean, this is a battle of, you know, the beasts here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, take a look at Epic, right? So they have Fortnite. Obviously, that's where a ton of their money comes from. But they also have the Unreal Engine. And we just saw this week alone was Gears picked up the Unreal Engine 5. That's what they're moving forward over on Xbox. So there's Fortnite, there is Unreal, and now they have the Epic Game Store, which is losing money which is fine because long term they're going to be
For now.
Exactly, right? That's only temporary. And they don't mind dropping hundreds of millions of dollars into that little pool for the long-term goal of what Steam is, right? Steam is a giant. How do you compete with that? You sink money and more money and more money until you finally make that up and come floating out. They have 3 platforms they're going to be working from to pool in all this money. Now, if you take a look at the simple fact that, honestly, they violated Apple's rules. I don't care how big Apple is. The rules are there. Their contract is signed. This is how it works. You violated those rules. To me, I would feel, from what looking outside, honestly, I really don't care at the end because it doesn't really bother me. But it is just funny to look at, right? But I think Apple has the leg up because it's right there in the contract. So why does all of a sudden Nintendo get dragged in, Xbox is getting dragged in, and so is PlayStation? For what? This is between you two clowns because you can't figure out who wants to be bigger. Who cares? So it's just one of those things, right? Like, it's just, come on, guys. But the way it just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. The trial, they estimate, is on for another 3 weeks. I bet you we go even longer, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm really curious to know, since all this dirty laundry is kind of coming out, do you think we're going to start to get some kind of laws and regulations? Because
maybe
even just with, like, I think it was with EA most recently, the government was like, oh, we had no idea that it was so heavily monetized. It's like, hello, for the last 10 years, this is what gamers have been getting slapped with, is microtransaction after microtransaction.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious to know just when all the dust settles and the mushroom cloud kind of dissipates, what is going to be the end result?
You could be
right, I mean,
man.
I have no idea. I think Apple, like you said, they have the upper leg.
Yeah.
But I think maybe Epic Games could come out with something else, some piece of the pie. Maybe not the full pie, but like a piece of it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just interesting to sit back and watch to see what unfolds. They even asked Sweeney if the Stadia was still operational. I'm like, what? I saw that. You know what? Really? Like, seriously? Yeah, Stadia is still a thing. And he says, oh, it's been drastically downscaled. Well, yeah, it's because they got rid of their first-party studios. Like, that's gone. The whole department is down.
And they just got a search bar.
Yeah, well, that's another discussion. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Corey, what do you want to end on with this battle? Who's got the upper leg?
Well, all I want to say is that Epic Games started this whole thing making a move for the players, right? For the people of their community. And as this has kind of gone on, they've, like you guys said, have aired out all this dirty laundry from all over, and it doesn't look good, like from a PR standpoint, it doesn't look good. Epic Games initially made this move for the people, and now they're kind of slandering everybody that makes content and things for that group, that mass of people. So at the end of this, maybe this isn't going to be a good look for them when it's all said and done, regardless of the result, just because of how they went about it. So I don't know, Epic Games, you might have a lot of money, but you got to win the people too.
No, for sure. Diplomacy is what I was once told. And you know what? Sometimes it just kind of works that way. Let us know what you think. Apple versus Epic. Who's got the upper leg? InsideTheGame.ca. All right, guys, are you ready? We're going to become outlaws or even legends.
Robin Hood and Little John.
All right, guys, we're talking about Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. This is a new spin on a PvPvE game where, yeah, basically, Nate, you nailed it. It is Robin Hood and Little John, and what essentially, I guess, would be Friar Tuck in a sense.
Yeah, more intense Friar Tuck and Marianne.
Yeah, exactly, right? So we're in the band of brothers with Robin Hood and his whole gang of merry men, and we're out to steal from the sheriff and give back to the poor, or keep it for yourself. Dude, there's so many things behind this game. I love the concept. I love the characters to a certain degree. but we have a ton of issues. And one of the glaring issues we had just before even playing this game is the fact that the cross-play is a system that doesn't work. It is Xbox, where you are all on Xbox. It is also on PlayStation, and it's on PC. Xbox is linked with PC. Why it isn't linked with the actual console, being PlayStation, I have no idea. But to me, we sit there and we wait and we wait. And Nate and I played the other night. We waited twice. We sat through 2 rounds of 300 seconds as it counted down and then timed out. And then Nate says, all right, dude, I'm just going to bounce. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then I got in. It was instant. Like, I just... And then we did the same thing. We took the crossplay off just before we played now. And it didn't work. We had to put crossplay back on in order to play against PC players.
And Xbox players.
And an Xbox player, right? That was the other side of it. We played with an Xbox player too. It's just like, I don't understand. The matchmaking is what's holding this game back. And for me, it is the stealth mechanic. The fact that it isn't the same when you fight off the E side, like the actual AI characters, the NPCs, because you can kill them from the front in the stealth mode, you can kill them from the side, and you can kill them from the back. But when it comes to the PvP side of that, you have to get them from behind. You can't get them from the side, and you can't get them in front. And to me, that just blows me away how they changed that stealth element within the game when it works on one aspect and not the other. To me, I love the game, but guys, it has a ton of problems. Corey, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know what? You kind of introduced this one to us. Like, I remember when they first talked about this game being released, and, you know, you get a bit of this cinematic trailer, and it's like, this seems like a cool idea for a game, right? How is this execution really going to play out? And honestly, I mean, this game looks great. This is the style of game you want to play. This is the way you want it to look for what we're playing through here, right? It's kind of got that old-timey, medieval, realistic feel to it. I feel like the levels are very sprawling. I think we play about 4 or 5 levels right now. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, there's new turns and new, you know, everything around. I mean, you're turning around and you're trying to, you know, spawn in different points, and we're capturing areas to try to control, you know, whether it be a castle or sometimes it may be a church or something we're fighting through. I mean, there's a lot going on in this game, but it is simplistic in its approach. We have only 4 characters to choose from here, and they are class-based. We have Little John, right? He's got the sledgehammer, he's the close combat tank, and he plays that way. But I did find the melee to be kind of clunky in this game right now. You know, there is a block and parry aspect that the timing seems off for some reason, if you guys know what I mean. Every character has a melee ability, you know, whether it be just a punch or something with a weapon, and it all feels just a little disjointed. I mean, it's there, and it, you know, you want it to feel better than it does, but it just kind of, you know, it is a little janky for me. And honestly, I'm playing as Robin mostly, so I'm, you know, the sniper, I'm the archer, so I don't do a ton of hand-to-hand combat, but when I am doing it, I feel like, you know, it's not really that effective. I'm not doing that much. You know, when I make a connection, it doesn't feel like anything, right? So it's just, there are things here that are missing. This game has kind of this great backbone, and I honestly think the longer this game sticks around, and if the community can stay behind it, it's going to be one of those things that I think will improve to be better. I mean, they've laid out a pretty good roadmap, you know, kind of coming up to this. Nate, I'm not going to get into too much before we get through our first thoughts here. What did you think of this one?
Well, man, initial thoughts, kind of like you said, man, bare bones. I mean, you got 4 characters, 5 maps. That isn't bare bones, in my opinion. There's a lot of depth to these maps. Some of them are really big. And like you said, there's all these zones, and it's all about kind of controlling the map and then bringing the chest to typically closer to your spawn if you can. But if you don't, that's when controlling those capture points are essential. But man, the jankiness, man. Like, we spent way too much time matchmaking just to not find matches. So this does need to get nabbed for it, unfortunately. This is, you know, we played Outriders, and that's kind of the most recent thing that I can compare it to. And it's been a complete mess. So what I was saying to you guys kind of off screen is, I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's the, you know, with the next gen and previous gen, all these different platforms. I don't know if this has kind of created a hole in the new coding that they need to work on and refine, or if it's just like a lack of funds, so to speak, I guess. So that's just so frustrating, man, because you want to play this game and it's only a multiplayer game with one mode. And
Yeah.
when you can't play it, then, well, that's a really big issue.
Well,
But
okay.
Corey, I gotta kind of touch up on one thing that you said too. The combat. It is like I'm gonna compare it to For Honor, and I kind of feel a little reluctant to, but it's what a lot of people are comparing it to.
Yeah.
And man, it is very clunky. Like the block or the parry sometimes is very just inconsistent. The assassinate again. Like sometimes I swear I'm right behind you, man. I pressed X and it just didn't work, and then they just somehow easily get me. But that all to say, when you get in a match and you're playing with 3 other friends, which is essential, playing with a team that you are communicating with is essential. It is a ton of fun, man. Like we were having a great time, especially just before this review. We played a match actually.
Yeah.
Well,
But
let's touch on what the game actually is. All right. So basically, you are 4 outlaws or legends, depending on the premise of which way you want to take it. Your goal is to go in, steal the key from the sheriff. From there, find the vault, and then grab the chest, bring it back to your point, and then hoist it over top the wall and take all the gold. Right? Cool premise. Honestly, we haven't had anything like this before. And then you tie in the whole Robin Hood-esque feel of it all. Then you go back to your hideout, which I would have loved to have seen to be able to upgrade your hideout. So you can level up your hideout, but you don't upgrade your hideout, right? There's 2 different things here. So you level up, which then it only allows you to unlock certain outfits. And let's touch on the outfits because basically they're just different colors.
Yeah.
There are
another bare bones mechanic or
exactly
a part of this game.
Well, I think it's there because what's coming is the battle pass, and that's where you're going to really see some new and creative ways of customizing your outlaws or legends, right? I think that's where we're going to really see it. They have a 3-season battle pass already planned, which is something I'm glad to see that they're already foreseeing the future of how they want this game to be, because a lot of games come out and they go, here it is, it's done, way you go.
Yeah.
And then you're out.
And 6 months we'll maybe get something.
Well, exactly, right? Then you have nothing else to do. But the problem what we're doing now is we are waiting to find out when this battle pass drops. And then the new outlaw is going to come with it as well. So they do have another outlaw in the works. She is coming, but that's all we know. I'm already looking for another outlaw to play as. We want to have some variety in there. Everybody sees the same ones over and over and over. And I think that's kind of the downfall to the game as well. So the fact is that there's only 4 characters to choose from.
Yeah, I kind of want to touch on the battle pass again real quick, Drew. I like the fact that they have laid it all out, right? It kind of gives you a bit of reassurance, a peace of mind that, they're not just going to leave you in the dust when it comes to the development of this game.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, we only have these 4 characters. We're all learning how this game plays. We're learning how these maps are laid out, where the chest's going to spawn, where the vault's going to be. I mean, so it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get used to this. So if they can at least introduce this newer content, at a consistent basis, I think this game will grow with the player base and people will be able to enjoy it, right? Because you just keep adding in just maybe a new level or a redesign on a level, maybe new spawn points in the same level as you bring in a new outlaw every once in a while, right? And you kind of keep it on a consistent basis. I think this game really has the legs to go somewhere, especially if, honestly, I feel like if they can add another game mode in, I don't know what it would be necessarily, but just something to add just a little bit more variety. Because honestly, when you're playing through these games, the PvE aspects is almost harder than the PvP aspects, because these guys are tough, man. They're tanks, and you have to be sneaky. They alert really easily in this one, and that honestly, that kind of adds to the heart beating in this one. I mean, you're running around and you get spotted, then you're aggroing half the castle and you're trying to find your team. I mean, this one gets wild in a hurry, and that's what makes it so much fun. But again, we've pointed out some pretty glaring issues that they need to get fixed, and the biggest one is the matchmaking. If you can't connect players to play, then there's going to be no game to play.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I think we become legends in this one. What are we going to score it? Nate, you kick it off.
All right, man. So with the glaring matchmaking issues and I want to say sort of bare bones content, this is going to get a 6 for me. But when that first battle pass drops and the new outlaw, I'm going to have to say, people, check this one out. What about you, Corey?
You know what? I think we may do kind of a maybe a revisit on this once the battle pass drops, or at least just a peek at it once we see that content and what we're getting, right? But honestly, as the game stands right now, I'm having a lot of fun, especially when the four of us are playing, we're jumping in, we're communicating, everything's kind of working out, we're all being different characters. It's a good time. But to get to that point, oh my goodness, man, it's tough, right? But honestly, this game has the bones, I think, to be really solid, and I just want to see it succeed. But I can't give it any more than a 6.5. What about you, Drew?
Yeah, no, I mean, man, I get it. I want to go higher, but I can't, right? There's two aspects to the game, the bare bone emptiness side of it, and the fact that when you customize your character, you're really just changing out your color for the most part, right? There is no battle pass yet. It would have been nice to see the battle pass drop day and day with the game. But when you get into the game, and if you can get into the game, I guess is the other part, right? That's the biggest struggle, is getting into the game, especially with a crew. But once you're in, dude, you're just in for an experience like no other, and it is an absolute blast. I love it, but it's hard to recommend because we have such a struggle to get in, and yet there's still some very high empty aspects to the game. And for me, yeah, it puts me there with a 6.5.
The forest sends its cards.
Great multiplayer idea with a visually pleasing environment, but the limited character choices and no console crossplay holds this one back for now. But improvements could see this game rise to the top.
Alright, so this week I'm talking about Activision and how they will no longer be working with Jeff Leach, the voice actor of Ghost Riley from Call of Duty's Modern Warfare. Now, when I first saw this, of course, I was intrigued to see what the allegations all were and just to see what exactly happened. And after digging into some of the details of it all, yeah, he definitely deserved to be banned. After seeing his Twitch streams, he's very, very vulgar and sexist. And to be completely fair, once Activision found out about that, by all means, they should have gotten rid of that guy. So yeah, 2021, not the time to be an idiot on the internet. Don't be a sexist. Don't say vulgar things like that. He is just, wow. Good luck to this guy to ever find a job doing anything in the video game industry.
This one's for all you Overwatch fans. Blizzard has announced they're going to be giving us a 2-hour gameplay preview of Overwatch 2 on May 20th over on their Twitch channel at 3 p.m. Eastern. This is pretty exciting news because we haven't gotten any real details about the game since it's been announced, and it's really cool because they said it's going to be centered around some major PvP changes. Kind of the 2 hours we're going to be displayed is going to kind of give us an idea of some of the major changes that, or minor changes that could be happening in the game. It's only been rumored kind of what's possibly on the horizon for Overwatch 2, but it has been kind of rumored out there that we could be looking at some real big changes. You know, they have been actually quoted as saying that there could be, you know, huge developmental changes to the game. We may be looking at, you know, a whole new gameplay style. And I mean, that could be awesome. It could be terrible. It's hard to say. I mean, Overwatch has got a huge fan base. I'm a big fan. It's a great game, but it's one of those games where, you know, it's time to have an Overwatch 2. So I'm really hoping there is a level of consistency there. You know, as a fan, I really want that, but I am looking forward to seeing what kind of changes they come up with. I mean, this game's been out for a long time. They've had an extended period to figure out what works, what doesn't, and what, you know, they could look forward to in making a second game and seeing what we can get. So I mean, as this being the first, you know, kind of little touch as what we're going to get here, it's going to be really interesting to see what we get as far as changes to the PvP modes. but they haven't given us any real details. So right now it's still all speculation, but what they have said is that they're looking to update us more regularly on the game. So here's hoping that this 2-hour preview is just kind of the first of many updates. So again, that's on May 20th over on Blizzard's Twitch channel at 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you check that out, especially if you're an Overwatch fan.
So if you were lucky enough to pick up a PS5, or you're still on the hunt for one, then you know you can pick up the console and the controller in a white colour. Well, some PlayStation fans were not happy about this, as they wanted the traditional black console and the black controller. And some people have actually gone out and actually picked up third party, some custom skins just for the console, but there's not much you can do about the controller and it'll still be a white colour. Well, good news is that Sony has just announced that next month they're releasing 2 new coloured controllers, and that'll be the Cosmic Red and the Midnight Black DualSense controllers. Now I have to say I will be pre-ordering the Cosmic Red as I think it looks rather tasty, and I will also mention that the DualSense controller feels amazing in your hands with the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedbacks. And I'm also looking forward as well because Horizon Forbidden West will be coming out this year, and Guerrilla Games has mentioned they're going to make the most use out of the DualSense controllers, even enough that you can actually feel the long grass blades.
I have you covered this week in our Level Up segment. We're talking about Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. Besides stating the obvious, communication is always key to winning a match, but we do have a few other tips that will help you get started. Spawn points are scattered around the map. Owning these spawn points can play a pivotal role in the success of a heist going according to plan, or worse, finding yourself on the other side of the map, scrambling to get back before the opposing team hoists away all of your stolen gold. When playing as Robin, note, he's an archer. CQC, close quarter combat, is not his style. Stay back from the fight. Let Little John and the others handle the close fight. You should look out for a perch that overlooks the stolen chest, and you could just save your team from getting crushed while they work towards hoisting away all of your gold. Lastly, look out for the shiny object. It means Robin is lining you up for the kill. Try and spot the glint of his arrow and get him before he gets you. Well, hopefully there's a few tips there that will help you get started when you check out Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. And let us know at InsideTheGame.ca. Are you an outlaw or a legend? Steve, we're going to check out a new MMO that's on the horizon. It's Elyon.
Beyond Elyon. However, our path led not to hope, but despair. We battled bravely to defend the Inventus.
Steve, you and I jumped into the world of a new MMO that's coming out, and we thought we'd check this out to see how we would grasp on the concept of jumping into something new. There's a lot of MMOs out there, and we want to know what kind of sets this one apart. When it comes to the world of ITG, though, we're not really big on MMOs, but we do like to dabble. And it's hard when you get into the world of these things because they are so big. But I think this one does stand a fighting chance because there are a few things I definitely enjoyed, like the story itself, the intro and the Inventus is what this like mothership you're kind of on, and then from there these machines come over, and there's this whole backstory of you getting swept away, and the bad guy, more or less, can come in and turn everybody into these machines and this stuff. I thought that was really cool. I do like the story. The combat I thought was pretty good too, but I did not like the combat shaking on the screen, like that is screen. You get into combat and your whole screen would be like vibrating. I was like, whoa, get me out of here. Man, I was not feeling that, but I'm definitely feeling a lot of the mechanics within the game. There's a lot going on. It is an MMO, so that does mean your screen is awfully busy as well. But when you get into something like this, you want to be able to have the time to dive in and really kind of get swept up and head off with your guild and your clan, and away you go. And the size of the map looks like it's going to give you that opportunity. Steve, what did you think of this one?
I really like this game. Starting off, I do like the customization in games, and you do get them a lot in the MMOs. Sometimes it's not enough, and other times it's way too much customization. I just found this one was just right. You can customize male, your gender, male to female, and you could hair color, the usual eyes, the eye shapes, and that. So it wasn't too much, and I really like that. But boy, when you start off and you just pull back and look at that map, and you think it's gonna be a busy time. You got a long way to go, kind of thing. But overall, I really did like it. The starting off, so you've got this, you get these missions. So you start off on this planet of Elyon, and you have to fight a few monsters, and there's a few voiceovers and text to talk. You have to go to certain characters, and they give you a small tutorial, but I did find it very helpful to start the game off.
What I didn't like, though, is the conversations. The conversations were good, but I didn't have any dialogue options whatsoever. I hit the F key just to move on to the next piece of dialogue that the character I was interacting with would have the conversation about. And I just sat there. My character doesn't say a word. I just sit there and listen, which is often found in these cases, right? And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm getting a little tired of that. I want to have my characters have a little bit more personality and life within them. I think the game looks great. I think it looks incredible. And there's huge opportunity with the new mech monsters that we're kind of getting, these creations that come into the world to take over and stuff. And then you kind of time warp. You get sucked into a portal, then you land in this other dimension, and from there you're in Ontario, it's called. And dude, it was cool. I'm in this village, and I'm like, dude, I want to kind of go and bounce around and check out and explore the world. There's a lot to going on here, and I was having a good time.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I do like the variety of monsters, because at least like some MMOs you get the same kind of creatures. You think it's a bit repetitive, but there's so much variations, and obviously their strengths and abilities. I really enjoy that part, and like you said, when you're on the planet of Ontario, you can you go and see a quest master as well. So apart from the main story, there's a load of little side quests on your way as well, just to add a bit more gameplay to it. And then obviously you get like, I think there's 8 quests, and it'll be something silly like go and kill this particular monster and then come back. So you head off. You can also, I did like the idea as well that you can also get some wings. So you can actually glide. That saves a lot of time, because you do a lot of walking and running to get from point A to point B just to get to that location. So you do these quests, you pick your 6 flowers or these particular monsters, and then you have to go back to the quest master just to get your rewards. Now this bit I did find frustrating is the walking back. It's an auto walk, but instead of a fast travel, it actually walks all the way back from where you are across the map. And I found that a bit frustrating, because I'm just sitting there for 2-3 minutes as he's running past all the monsters. Just go back to the quest master just to get your rewards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It doesn't work that way, man. These games are too big to do that. So give me that fast travel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Steve, our time with Elyon was pretty cool. This was a closed beta, so there's not really much to go off of from here on out, as that we can't really get back into it, and it's something we're just kind of keeping an eye out for. So it's more of a preview. Definitely would recommend, though, keeping your eye open for this one. If you're looking for a new MMO, I gotta recommend it. What about you, Steve?
Oh, definitely. And I will definitely be jumping back into this one as well, because I did really like it. A lot of fun. It's going to be definitely one to go jumping in and out every now and then, but this is definitely a recommend for me. Elyon Ascent Infinite Realm is a fun MMORPG with its variety of creatures and huge open world. Voice and text did not always work, and not much option to interact in conversation, but overall so many hours of enjoyment here, so this is a recommend.
The guys and I were live this week over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, where we streamed Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. This is a new multiplayer game with a PvE aspect in it as well, and who doesn't want to steal a chest? Because, well, I'm Robin Hood. No, actually I wasn't. That was Corey. But either way, here it is. Check it out.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're dead.
Go right. I already opened this one.
No, you don't.
Oh, let's wait.
They're right here. They're right here. Nice.
Nice.
Sheriff's right there. Sheriff's right there. Oh, dude.
Oh, very
Gotta knock him out. Just lurking. Got him.
Nice.
And I got the rest.
Nice.
Got him.
We gotta take this guy down.
Good job.
Dude, I got nothing to take him down. I'm jumping him. Yep.
I am a coward. I am running.
Anything? Oh, she.
Trying to get him. Come over
Where'd
here.
she come from? Oh, he's gonna get me too
Yep.
after I killed her.
At least you killed her. Man, come on. I did not
gotta
see her.
knock her
Oh, man.
It's gonna work on him for a bit.
Yeah, they're on the move over here, Nate.
Come on, get me back in
Why can't I
here.
mark them? Man, the marking is brutal sometimes.
Dude, I didn't find it working half this night
I can
tonight.
open
Though.
that gate. Oh, you're already up there.
I got 2 over here, guys. Marianne and 2.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm almost back here. Oh, there's Adam. I'm like, who's lifting this thing?
The Marianne's here. She's.
Yep. Here comes 2.
Ah, double team.
Thing. I hate the sprint with this character. Oh no!
I got him off, but I'm dead. I'm dead. There's 3 of them here. Come on, Corey.
Yeah, I know. No arrows, man.
Oh, no.
Coming.
Oh, Nate. I just hit an arrow for you.
Oh, no, they're getting it. Get him, get him!
I got a grenade for him.
I can't sustain 4. There, I'm dead now.
Yeah,
Blew one up.
man, they're moving so much, so.
That's hard.
I chased them away. They're running from me.
Nice. Mailbox, just
Guy with
the
the
machine
arrow.
on his John. The menace.
He's just trying to get behind me. I got one.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm one shot, so I'm just going for it. I'm just
Yep.
cranking till I die.
Oh,
here.
yo, the sheriff got the other guy, and that Marianne girl has not a lot of life left.
Okay,
So now it's the chance.
we got 2.
Oh, my guy's tired.
Yeah, mine too.
Swap out. Nate, take the crank.
She's coming, she's
Swap
coming, she's
for
coming,
that
she's coming.
girl, yeah.
No, no, heads out, heads up, heads up, heads up.
I got one.
Nice.
Oh, I hit her, but she got me. I had no health.
What?
The sheriff's
As good as I
coming
could
for
have
her.
done.
The sheriff's coming for her.
Nice.
I killed her, I killed her.
Nice.
Nice. I'm on my way.
I ducked out from the sheriff. Are you still coming my way? Go
Why
away,
did I
dude.
click on that one? Oh, no.
Oh, Corey, where'd you spawn?
C.
I think I'd be back.
I'm not too far.
We got this. One more.
Pretty straight shot.
We got 2 more.
He's chasing after me, but they just.
I just
threw
meant
gas
one
at it,
more,
so they're here somewhere.
Oh, you're right. 2 more.
No. Oh man.
Oh.
He gets such reach.
Oh, he got you.
Okay,
They're here. They're here. I got him. I'm dead. I held them off, but I'm dead. They're on it now.
Oh, there's a lot.
Get him, boys! Oh, 15 seconds out. Oh.
Yeah, I killed her. She was on it.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Sheriff's chasing him off.
Oh, Nate just died.
Had 3 of them on.
Go, Corey. Go, Corey. Go, Corey.
They're pretty hurt though.
I'll hold this open for you.
Okay, I'm coming back. I'm back. I'm coming. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm.
He goes
I've got
straight
them
here.
distracted, but they're.
How did that miss her?
There's a Robin to the left, Adam. You see him?
Yeah.
Yo, what was that? It put me in the corner.
Alright, I'm finally with you guys.
I'm dead.
Oh man, this girl's such a wimp. Nice. Oh, really?
There it is.
Another one right here.
Nice. I'm coming back. Almost got my ult. Got it. Oh, get around, come on.
Got you.
Oh man, this Rob. All right, yeah, keep going. I'll defend it.
Switch it.
Got
Oh,
one shot. Oh, I missed him.
We got this. We got this.
You got it, boys. You got it.
we got it.
Let's go.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh, there needs to be an emote. I could have danced that whole time.
Yeah,
Man,
where's
where's
John
the
deserves a
for
little
emotes?
jig.
Oh,
Yeah,
For
man.
honor emotes.
Yo, that was intense.
Wow.
Good job, guys.
That's good.
Man, I missed a lot of shots there
Yeah,
too.
man.
So good
You
job,
guys were
fellas.
getting lots of kills.
Nicely done.
You guys were.
That was hard, man. That was bad. 8.
Yeah, Drew 8 kills, Nate 20 kills, and then I saw 16, 15.
Yo, I'm taking all that coin for myself.
I'd do it up.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us. That'll wrap up this week's episode. Don't forget, you can be a part of our show. All you have to do is go to insidethegame.ca or hit us up in Discord, where there you can submit your clip and end off our show. This week, we've got our very own Adam. Well, he's taking things into his own hand in some Rainbow Six Siege. Until next week, thanks again, and we'll see you inside the game.
Op 4, last stop standing.